Father and Parents' Rights websites from Dmoz-Odp. Chapter 1. Father's Rights websites from dmoz-odp.org/society/people/men/issues/fathers%27_rights. Father's Rights websites. COAFIC, UK Men and Fathers' Rights resources that advocate men's and fathers' rights, examining discrimination against men in the UK and proposing solutions. menstuff.org/resources/resource-files/fathers.html, menstuff, fathers/men's rights directory of fathers and men's rights organizations, mostly groups in the United States. peak.org/JEdwards/dads.html, dads against discrimination information resource created by divorced, separated, and unwed fathers for the benefit of all fathers. supportguidelines.com/articles/art199903.html, it's 10 o'clock, do you know where your sperm are? Article discusses the liability of fathers for child support when they do not intend to become fathers. Father rights organizations websites. acfc.org, ACFC, American Coalition for Fathers and Children, help with your divorce problems and register your voice in Washington. cft.org.tripod.com/index.htm, Children Fathers Together, web-based educational organization that offers fathers' rights resources and links, based in Massachusetts. dadsdivorce.com, dadsdivorce.com provides resources to assist fathers with U.S. family law and child custody issues, articles, discussion board, guides. dadsnow.org, Dads Now is the focal point for organizing national boycotts and public protest against anti-family business and governmental practices. dadsrights.org, Fathers' Rights and Equality Exchange, member-supported, not-for-profit organization dedicated to the premise that parenting is a 50-50ths proposition. fact.on.ca, Fathers Are Capable Too, Fact, Canadian Fathers and Children's Rights Organization dealing with custody and access, which supports children's right to have a relationship with both parent. Fatherhoodcoalition.org, CPF/Fatherhood Coalition working to promote shared parenting and to end the discrimination faced by divorced and unwed fathers, information on chapters throughout Massachusetts. FATHERS4KIDS.com, Fathers for Equal Rights group provides hands-on services to fathers, grandparents, and others who have a current or future case in the Dallas or surrounding areas, or who have children in this geographic area. FathersRightsNICE.com/Longisland, Fathers Rights Association of Long Island, information about and articles by an educational organization that promotes equal parenting rights. MESACanada.com, Men's Educational Support Association, MESA, registered charitable organization whose main objective is to help families, fathers, and children caught in the turmoil of domestic crisis. SOSPapa.net, SOS Papa Net, large association of fathers in France for rights of fathers and children. Fathers' Rights personal pages. Fathers.bc.ca, BC Fathers resources and information for divorced fathers in British Columbia, Canada. Freewebs.com/damseagull, babies as weapons, a father seeks easier visitation rights for men. Includes his story and stories from men in similar situations, commentary on women's tactics to keep fathers from their children, a petition, and links. pewterdocs.com/ss page, courts creating fatherless families, a father's story of his fight with the judicial system to stay in relation to his daughter. UNITEUS2000.tripod.com, Unite Us 2000 information, links, and discussion forums about fathers' rights and children's rights. Fathers' Rights publications websites. Angelfire.com/home/suffering patriarchy, suffering patriarchy, author, Robert Lindsay Cheney, Jr. Shares book written to aid fathers and scholars in understanding the present apartheid being inflicted against American males and the institution of fatherhood. Download available. Betrayal of the Child. Freeservers.com, Betrayal of the Child features Stuart Rain's book Betrayal of the Child. LeaderU.com/fatherfacts, Fatherfacts, a booklet by Wade Horn, Ph.D., describes how father absence is related to our nation's most pressing social ills such as crime and poverty. WinningCustody.com, Winning Child Custody. A father who won joint custody offers how to better prepare for the legal tangle. Book for sale with samples online. Chapter 2. Parents' Rights Websites from Dmoz-Odp.org/society/issues/children%2c_youth_and_family/parents%2 7 Parents' rights websites like Child Custody Rights. CustodyWar.com, Pale Horse Publishing books on divorce and custody issues. Has bibliography, abstracts, and tables of contents, online purchasing. FightCPS.com, FightCPS, and win information, support, and reference links for people involved in legal battles against child welfare services, HHS, CPS, HRS, DHS, DCYS. FRG.org.uk, family rights group established as a registered charity in 1974 to provide advice and support for families whose children are involved with social services. Works to improve the services received by these families. Matchmothers.org, Match, Mothers Apart from Their Children, a volunteer support network of mothers who have been separated from their children by a variety of circumstances. Has contact information, aims and links. MSBP.com, Mothers Against Munchausen Syndrome by Proxy Allegations. MAMA is a response to some false allegations of Munchausen syndrome by proxy. MSBP claims parents are being wrongly deprived of custody of their children due to misdiagnosis. Has contact details, opinion, links to related articles. ParentsRights.com, Coalition for the Restoration of Parental Rights, Arkansas chapter. Information for parents or guardians who are preparing to answer grandparents' rights litigation in court. Information on how to be involved in the legislative process is also provided. profane-justice.org, American Family Advocacy Center supporting the sovereignty of the family over any government intervention. Searchmothers.com/mothers/mothers-rights.php, search mothers, Mothers' Rights Directory of links related to child custody, child support, and other mothers' rights issues. Child support websites. Angelfire.com/biz2/support for kids, International Child Support Help page dedicated to the growing issue of international child support. Childsupport.com, Child Support Network private child support collection company. Childsupport.now.com, Support the Children, Inc., a private company organized for the sole purpose of locating absent parents and enforcing court-ordered child support payments. CollectChildSupport.com, Kids, Ltd., a company dedicated to the collection of delinquent child support. NationalChildSupport.com, National Child Support collects millions of dollars in child support for thousands of parents and kids nationwide. SupportCollectors.com, Support Collectors, Inc., private agency collects past due child support and spousal maintenance. SupportKids.com, Support Kids Services, Inc., National Child Support Payment Collection Agency based in Austin, Texas. Joint custody or shared parenting websites. iol.ie/tilde/pe/pe03003.htm, joint custody bibliography list of resources, primarily theses, published on joint custody since 1980. web.rex.com/mrsid, Dads of Stark and Columbiana Counties Organization for the Benefit of Fathers and Non-Custodial Parents of Children, primarily in the counties of Stark and Columbiana, Ohio. Parental Alienation Syndrome websites. deltabravo.net/custody/ran01.htm, The Spectrum of Parental Alienation Syndrome Part 1. The syndrome is a distinctive family response to divorce in which the child becomes aligned with one parent and preoccupied with unjustified and/or exaggerated denigration of the other target parent. deltabravo.net/custody/rand11.htm, The Spectrum of Parental Alienation Syndrome Part 2 by forensic psychologist, Deirdre Conway, Rand, Ph.D. deltabravo.net/custody/pa-archive.htm, pa information archive collection of articles on pa. divorcesource.com/nh/articles/ward1.html, family wars, the alienation of children article by Drive. Peggy Ward, including a composite case from actual examples. fact.on.ca/info/pas/walsh.htm, parental alienation syndrome, an age-old custody problem by Michael R. Walsh and J. Michael Bone in the Florida Bar Journal. fact.on.ca/info/pas/gardenar01.htm, 3 types of parental alienation syndrome families by Richard A. Gardner, M.D. fact.on.ca/info/pas/lund92.htm, mediation, parental alienation syndrome by Mary Lund. fact.on.ca/info/pas/dun.htm, an analysis of 16 selected cases. This study analyzed 16 cases which appeared to meet Drive. Richard Gardner's criteria for parental alienation syndrome as set forth in his 1987 book. These cases showed a wide diversity of characteristics, but Gardner's criteria were useful in differentiating these cases from other post-divorce difficulties. Traditional interventions were ineffective in altering the alienation. fact.on.ca/info/pas/walsh99.htm, parental alienation syndrome, how to detect it and what to do about it by J. Michael Bone and Michael R. Walsh. From the Florida Bar Journal. fact.on.ca/info/pas/gardenar90.htm, custody disputes fueling from family practice news. fact.on.ca/info/pas/gardenar99.htm, differentiating between parental alienation syndrome and bona fide abuse neglect, the American Journal of Family Therapy. Richard A. Gardner. Department of Child Psychiatry, College of Physicians and Surgeons, Columbia University, New York, USA. fact.on.ca/info/pas/lample96.htm, children's alignment with parents in highly conflicted custody cases, Family and Conciliation Courts Review. Anita K. Lample, Ph.D. fact.on.ca/info/info_pa.htm, literature review from Fact, literature review from Fathers Are Capable Too, Canada. fact.on.ca/info/pas/waldron.htm, understanding and collaboratively treating parental alienation syndrome, American Journal of Family Law. Vol. 10. 121-133, 1996. Kenneth H. Waldron, Ph.D. David E. Jonas, J.D., Madison, Wisconsin. fact.on.ca/info/pas/sander01.htm, when you suspect the worst from the Family Advocate. When you suspect the worst, bad faith relocation, fabricated child sexual abuse, and parental alienation, by Carol Holstein Sanders. fact.on.ca/info/pas/price94.htm, a developmental analysis of a vulnerable population, Journal of Psychological Nursing, Joseph L. Price, Ph.D. and Carrie S. Piaski, R.N., M.S., A.N.P. fact.on.ca/info/pas/wilbo97.htm, the emerging problem of parental alienation article by Caroline Wilborn and Leslie Ann Cole in Family Law. fact.on.ca/info/pas/ward02.htm, the alienation of children composite court case from actual examples. New Hampshire Bar Journal, Volume 34, No. 1, March 1993. ForensicServices.com/pas.html, parental alienation and enmeshment issues in child custody cases, attempts a balanced review of research and clinical literature on parental alienation and enmeshment issues as they appear in child custody cases. Reviews assessment and legal issues. Written by Daniel J. Rybicki, Sci.D., Deps. massey.ac.nz/tilde/kberks/gender/econ/geecon.htm #sign parent, Stuart Burke's Gender Economics Issues list of links from a page of links on gender economics topics. mesacanada.com/alienlnk.htm, Mesa Canada, parental alienation links from the Men's Educational Support Association of Canada. Child advocacy group websites. 50ways.org, 50 Ways to Save Our Children seeks to benefit children and their families by encouraging philanthropy and public service. Offers several specific activities individuals can do to improve the lives of children. A-B-C.org, Association to Benefit Children, children's advocacy group with an array of programs that provide services in education, health, housing, mental health, and employment. ACNJ.org, Association for Children of New Jersey, a child advocacy organization. Find information about programs, special projects, news, and events. ACY.org, Advocates for Children and Youth, an independent nonprofit promoting the interests of children in Maryland. History and Purpose, supporting data, news, opportunities, and donations. AECF.org, Annie E. Casey Foundation, private charitable organization dedicated to helping build better futures for disadvantaged children in the U.S. Initiatives are related to reducing teen pregnancy, improving foster care, education reform, alternatives to juvenile detention, neighborhood improvement, and increased public awareness of children's issues. AfterSchoolAlliance.org, the After School Alliance, an alliance of public, private, and non-profit groups committed to raising awareness and expanding resources for after-school programs. AgendaForChildren.org, Agenda for Children seeks to make government work better for children in Louisiana. Child care resources, health insurance initiatives, violence prevention programs, and media notes. ALLIANCE1.org, Alliance for Children and Families, an international membership association representing more than 350 private, non-profit child and family-serving organizations. AllianceForChildhood.org, Alliance for Childhood promotes policies and practices that support children's healthy development, love of learning, and joy in living. Information about projects and how to help. ARadvocates.org, Arkansas Advocates for Children and Families, information on mission to protect and promote through research, education, and advocacy the rights and well-being of Arkansas children and their families, to assure that they have the opportunity to lead healthy and productive lives. IPF.org, American Youth Policy Forum, nonpartisan professional development organization providing learning opportunities for policymakers working on youth issues at the local, state and national levels. AZChildren.org, Children's Action Alliance promotes the well-being of Arizona's children through advocacy, education, and research. Press releases, fact sheets, legislative agenda, and publications. Blackadministrators.org, Black Administrators in Child Welfare, Inc., a non-profit organization dedicated to improving the lives of African American children in the nation's child welfare system. Conferences, news, statistics, and training. CAFCA.net, Colorado Association of Family and Children's Agencies, an association of Colorado nonprofit child welfare agencies advocating on behalf of at-risk children and families. CAHS.org, Connecticut Association for Human Services, independent, nonprofit organization committed to decreasing poverty, neglect, and inequality through public education, research, advocacy, and policy development. CAIChildlaw.org, Children's Advocacy Institute. The institute, which is affiliated with the University of San Diego School of Law, represents the interest of children in legislative, judicial, and administrative matters. CAMPAIGN2000.ca, Campaign 2000, End Child Poverty in Canada, a cross-Canada public education movement to build public awareness and support for the 1989 All-Party House of Commons resolution to end child poverty in Canada by the year 2000. CampaignForYouth.org, Campaign for Youth representing more than 1,000 community-based and faith-based organizations, This national initiative seeks to promote public policy solutions to the issues confronting young people between the ages of 16 and 24. CCA-IL.org, Child Care Association of Illinois, dedicated to improving foster care, adoption, special education, juvenile justice, and youth homes in Illinois. CDF-MN.org, Children's Defense Fund Minnesota works to provide health coverage for uninsured and underinsured children, affordable child care for working parents, improved, consistent child support, welfare reform that helps low-income families and children, safety for children and reunification for families through reforms to the child welfare system. CFFO.org, Children First for Oregon, dedicated to the well-being of each and every child in Oregon. Includes policy agenda, news, data, and publications. CFPCIowa.org, Child and Family Policy Center uses research to improve state and federal policy regarding children and families. News, publications, Iowa projects, and national projects. CF6.net, the Community Foundation of the Virgin Islands seeks to build a growing collection of permanent funds, the income from which will be used to enhance the educational, physical, social, cultural, and environmental well-being of the island's people. CHAWisconsin.org, Children's Health Alliance of Wisconsin, building strong partnerships and coalitions to address emerging children's health issues throughout Wisconsin. ChildAdvocate.net, the Child Advocate Network serves the needs of children, families, and professionals while addressing medical, educational, psychiatric, legal and legislative issues. ChildFund.org, Child Fund International, dedicated to providing long-term care to needy children worldwide by offering information on child sponsorship and poverty reduction, action alerts, and online donation options. ChildrenAtRisk.org, Children at Risk seeks to improve the lives of children in the greater Houston, Texas area through advocacy, policy analysis, and research. Issues, data, and publications. ChildrenNow.org, Children Now, a nonpartisan, independent voice for children based in California, working to translate the nation's commitment to children and families into action. Provides articles and resources in the areas of children and the media, talking with kids, and working families. Children'sAlliance.org, Children's Alliance, an advocacy organization dedicated to improving the health, safety, and economic well-being of children in Washington state. Offers publications, training opportunities, and resources for advocacy and outreach. Children'sDefense.org, Children's Defense Fund advocacy for American children, particularly poor and minority children and those with disabilities. Issues and programs include Head Start, Healthy Start, Stand for Children, Child Care, Health Insurance, Child Safety, Moral Education. Children'sRights.org, Children's Rights, Inc. Watchdog group dedicated to reforming government child welfare services across the U.S. Statistics, reports on pending legislation, policy, and research position papers, cases, and news. Children'sRightsIndia.org, Ter de Homs India program sponsored by the Germany Office of the Child Advocacy Organization. Site constitutes an interactive and educational platform to defend and protect children's rights as defined by the UNCRC, with case studies, news and opinion articles, activity center, and downloads. Children'sTrustEMA.org, Children's Trust Massachusetts organization which seeks to eliminate child abuse and strengthen families in Massachusetts through programs, publications, and other resources. Children'sWeek.org, Children's Week seeks to educate Florida's legislature on important issues facing children and families. Events, position papers, and advocacy toolkit. ColoradoKids.org, Colorado Children's Campaign seeks to improve the health, safety, education, and economic security of children in Colorado. Newsletter, Early Childhood Initiatives, information for the media, and legislative updates. CommercialAlert.org/index.php !category _ID =2 subcategory _ID =32 article _ID =120, Channel 1 overview. A coalition of progressive and conservative groups opposing Channel 1's presence in the schools, with extensive links to testimony, data, and activism. copsandkids.ca, Pro-Action, Cops and Kids provides funding support for community programs run by the Toronto Police Service Community Policing Unit on behalf of kids at risk. CRY.org, Child Rights, and You, Cry, information on the status of children in India and the organization's efforts to provide them food, clothing, shelter, and education. ctb.ku.edu, Community Toolbox offers practical guidelines to organizations focused on improving their communities. Topics include leadership, strategic planning, grant writing, and community assessment. cwlaw.org, Child Welfare League of America children's advocacy organization active in lobbying and humanitarian projects in the U.S. History and current programs described, links to publications, child-rearing resources, and sponsors. dcactionforchildren.org, DC Action for Children, an independent, non-profit, multi-issue advocacy organization dedicated to improving the quality of life for children living in the District of Columbia. Includes advocacy, resources, and project information. defenseforchildren.org, Defense for Children International, an independent non-governmental organization working to promote and protect the rights of the child. essex.ac.uk/armedcon, Children and Armed Conflict Unit database containing up-to-date information on issues about children and armed conflict, including press releases and links to other relevant sites. everychildmatters.org, Every Child Matters conducts polls, publishes reports, works with reporters and state children's groups, runs advertising, and conducts campaigns on behalf of children. Initiatives on child abuse prevention, health insurance, after-school programs, and early childhood education. firstcallbc.org, British Columbia Child and Youth Advocacy Movement, a coalition of 40 provincial organizations and hundreds of community groups who promote legislation, policy, and practice that will enable children and youth to achieve their full potential and to participate in making a better world. FirstStar.org, First Star, a national non-profit organization dedicated to helping children in child protective services, criminal and family courts, and foster care systems across the United States. GAFCP.org, Family Connection Partnership seeks to improve the health, economic well-being, and educational outcomes of Georgia's children. Community assistance, state initiatives, and best practices. HeyUgly.org, HeyUgly, unique gifted lovable UA resource for tweens and teens, providing self-esteem and character development tools and programs. Includes a radio show, in-school presentations, and emotional learning activity plans for schools and youth-serving organizations. IBCR.org, International Bureau of Children's Rights, an international organization based in Canada that seeks to protect, defend, and promote the rights and the welfare of all children. Supports the principles set forth in the Convention on the Rights of the Child. IFSSA.ca, Islamic Family Social Services Association serves the Edmonton community in Alberta, Canada, regardless of their religious denomination, while specializing in Muslim needs. Youth development programs, domestic violence counseling, and food and clothing assistance. IYI.org, Indiana Youth Institute provides tools and information to youth organizations in Indiana. Data, publications, grant tips, and consulting services. Kidscape.org.uk, Kidscape, a registered UK charity committed to keeping children safe from harm or abuse. Kidscouncil.org, Kids Council, Center for Children's Advocacy. The center, which is affiliated with the University of Connecticut Law School, uses representation, training, legislative advocacy, and consultation to protect the rights of children. KidsFirstFund.org, Kids First Fund designed to serve children who are orphans, handicapped, sexually abused, physically abused, and pregnant teenagers in developing countries and economies of our world. KidsInCommon.org, Kids in Common aims to improve the lives of children and their families in Silicon Valley by developing community partnerships to promote and protect their interests and serving as an advocate on their behalf. LOVE146.org, LOVE146.org raises awareness and resources to combat child sex trafficking. LoveOurChildrenUSA.org, Love Our Children USA, dedicated to fighting child abuse through advocacy, outreach, and education. Publications and resources for parents, kids, and teens. MasKids.org, Massachusetts Citizens for Children aims to elevate children's issues to the top of the public agenda in Massachusetts. News, hotlines, and projects on preventing child abuse and shaken baby syndrome. MakeDS.org, Maine Children's Alliance, a non-profit child advocacy organization dedicated to improving the lives of children, youth, and their families. Mentoring.org, the National Mentoring Partnership, an organization that promotes, advocates, and is a resource for mentors and mentoring initiatives nationwide. MichigansChildren.org, Michigan's Children nonprofit organization that promotes a strategy of intervening before problems limit a child's potential. Programs, news, publications, and legislative issues. NACCChildlaw.org, National Association of Counsel for Children Child Advocacy and Professional Membership Association representing children that are involved in the court system as victims of abuse and neglect or subjects of custody, visitation, and adoption cases. Information about training and technical assistance, policy advocacy, and events. Namergy.org, National Association for Multicultural Education. This site supports efforts in educational equity and social justice and provides resources for students and educators and valuable links to other sites. NCChild.org, North Carolina Child Advocacy Institute provides news, reports, and resources on issues affecting the well-being of North Carolina's children. Special emphasis on child abuse, health care, education, and juvenile justice. NCCP.org, National Center for Children in Poverty. The center, which is affiliated with Columbia University, produces reports, fact sheets, and press material that highlight strategies to end child poverty in the United States. NCCPR.info, National Coalition for Child Protection Reform works to make the system better serve America's most vulnerable children by trying to change policies concerning child abuse, foster care, and family preservation. NFPN.org, National Family Preservation Network resources to assist child welfare agency professionals in preserving families at risk of having children removed, reuniting removed children whenever possible, and encouraging fathers' involvement in their children's lives. NHKidsCount.org, Children's Alliance of New Hampshire advocacy organization that works to improve the health and well-being of children. Vision Statement, Board of Directors, Current Issues, Advocates Toolbox, Online Resources, and information on the New Hampshire Children's Advocacy Network. NN4YOUTH.org, National Network for Youth dedicated to ensuring that young people can be safe and lead healthy and productive lives. NewYorkShy.org, Coalition for Homeless Youth advocates on behalf of runaway, homeless, and street youth in the state of New York. OICA.org, Oklahoma Institute for Child Advocacy seeks legislative action, changes in public attitudes, and broad constituencies to improve the well-being of children in Oklahoma. Legislative agenda, statistics, initiatives, and advocacy tools. OMBUDSnet.org, European Network of Ombudsmen for Children works to encourage the fullest possible implementation of the Convention on the Rights of the Child, and supports collective lobbying for children's rights. OTCDkids.com, On the Capitol Doorstep, OTCD, provides information on California and federal legislation affecting young children with a focus on child care and development programs. PawPartnerships.org, Pennsylvania Partnerships for Children focuses on the health, early education, and well-being of children in Pennsylvania. Legislative updates, publications, calendar, and news. PCCY.org, Philadelphia Citizens for Children and Youth seeks greater funding and support for health insurance, education, transportation, and public benefits for children and families in the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area. Healthcare resources, events, and press releases. PeaceEducators.org, Concerned Educators Allied for a Safe Environment network of parents, teachers, and other concerned individuals, who are dedicated to creating a safe and healthy world for children. PriorityChildren.org, Priority Children aims to improve the quality of life for children and families in Genesee County, Michigan through assessment, public awareness, and advocacy. Includes action agenda, statistics, and advocacy opportunities. rfkchildren.org, Robert F. Kennedy Children's Action Corps, Inc. Provides care, counseling, treatment, education, and rehabilitative services for at-risk children in Massachusetts. rightsofchildren.ca, Canadian Coalition for the Rights of Children. The coalition aims to ensure a collective voice for Canadian organizations and youth advocates of children's rights as described in the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child and the World Summit for Children Declaration. santafeboys.org, Santa Fe Boys triannual publication presents a fact-based, objective picture of the health, educational and emotional status of boys today in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and in the United States. SaveAbandonedBabies.org, Save Abandoned Babies Foundation dedicated to publicizing an Illinois law designed to assist women who might otherwise abandon their babies in unsafe places. Offers adoption information, outreach materials, and a hotline. scchildren.org, Children's Trust of South Carolina focuses on the prevention of child abuse, neglect, and injury. Provides training and education for professionals as well as funds, supports, and monitors prevention programs. SHOT-Foundation.org, the SHOT Foundation develops and strengthens the movement for equity in education and child care. Funds initiatives aimed at improving public policy and educational and advocacy organizations. SparrowLake.org, Sparrow Lake Alliance focuses on advocacy and research to improve the health and well-being of children in Ontario, Canada. Events, task forces, and publications. State.nj.us/Child Advocate, New Jersey Office of the Child Advocate identifies systemic problems that prevent government or community agencies from achieving positive outcomes for children. Projects, newsletter, hotline, and information on child abuse. StopChildLabor.org, Child Labor Coalition provides a forum and a unified voice on protecting working minors and ending child labor exploitation. Develops informational and educational outreach to the public and private sectors. SundayFriends.org, Sunday Friends since 1997, Sunday Friends has met each week empowering hundreds of homeless and very low-income families as they have worked with thousands of volunteers to give back to the San Jose community. By engaging in everyday activities, children and their parents learn social and economic skills that enrich their lives. TACFS.org, Texas Alliance of Child and Family Services, an association of private child and family welfare agencies in Texas. Advocacy, training, and publications. TheSouthernInstitute.org, the Southern Institute on Children and Families seeks to improve health care, child care, and transportation services for children and families in the South. tn.gov/tccy, Tennessee Commission on Children and Youth, independent agency created by the state legislature to advocate for children and support community efforts to improve the lives of children. Newsletter, data, and legislation. txchildren.org, Texans Care for Children devoted to improving the lives of children in Texas. Legislative policy, events, campaigns, and advocacy resources. afamily.hawaii.edu/index.asp, Center on the Family based at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. The center provides publications, data, and research on children and families in Hawaii. unicef.org/crc, UNICEF, child rights publications and information on the work of the United Nations Children's Fund and its advocacy for children's rights, survival, development, and protection through adoption of the Convention on the Rights of the Child. WaypointServices.org, Waypoint provides advocacy, community leadership, and services for women and their families in Cedar Rapids, Iowa and surrounding areas. Child care, domestic violence prevention, and shelter programs. WCA4KIDS.org, Westchester Children's Association strives to improve the lives of children in Westchester County, New York by focusing on improved health care, less gun violence, and better foster care services. WeCare2.com/organizations/ind/sacr.html, Society for Advocacy of Women and Child Rights advocacy organization based in India that focuses on ending child labor, promoting women's rights, and AIDS awareness. WorldChildrenCenter.org, World Children's Center, a planned community for approximately 500 orphaned, neglected and abused children from Georgia, the United States and the world. WorldVision.org.uk, World Vision, a leading, international, Christian aid organization that is working worldwide to bring hope and change to communities in need through our relief and development projects aimed at helping children in developing countries. YLC.org, Youth Law Center, nonprofit, public interest law office that investigates abuse in the child welfare and juvenile justice systems. YouthLaw.org, National Center for Youth Law seeks to protect abused and neglected children, increase youth's access to healthcare and other public benefits, and ensure the fair treatment of youth in the juvenile justice system. News, publications, and contact information. Parental individual case websites. CharlotteJonathanLouise.Yolazite.com, Knowles, Charlotte, Jonathan, and Louise abducted by their father in 1989. FindSabrina.org, Alan, Sabrina Fair abducted April 21, 2002 by her non-custodial mother, Dara Lorayans. Lorayans has a history of mental illness, and is unstable. Please help return Sabrina to her family in Austin, Texas. KYLE_SCOTTE_ROBINSON.tripod.com/keylescott/index.html, Robinson, Kyle Scott. Kyle Scott Robinson is being hidden from his father, Jeffrey Scott Robinson, by his mother, Mary Jennifer Adderley. Their last known whereabouts, the Salt Lake City area of Utah. Custody support group websites. CustodySource.com, CustodySource.com, state-by-state individuals, groups, and organizations to help with the difficult challenges of child custody. For fathers, mothers, and grandparents. Children's issues for parents websites. DivorceAndChildren.com, divorce and children information site for before, during, and after divorce. OurFamilyWizard.com, Our Family Wizard provides divorced families with tools to assist with managing schedules, the children's information, track expenses. PuttingKidsFirst.org, Putting Kids First online co-parenting classes for divorce. Nationwide court-approved certificates of completion. Helps parents learn how to restructure their family and renew their parenting skills.